Greetings to our beloved Filipinos worldwide. Inside, or is it above, there is a new self that is trying to be born inside. Or maybe, this self has always been alive, and it is the we who are living in the fifth dimensional now. We are beginning to have this realization enough that we are increasingly ready to release the old and embrace the new. As we are well aware, the term trying is much less powerful than the term doing. However, we are all becoming increasingly aware that our consciousness is going into an area, or is it a frequency, that we have never experienced before while wearing a third-dimensional earth vessel. More and more of us, meaning the we that are galactics in human disguise, are experiencing a call to self, which is an interdimensional reminder to expand our state of consciousness enough that we can remember that our 3D body is just a disguise so that we can walk the earth without being recognized. We, the galactics in human form, are aware that to shift our consciousness into a higher frequency, we will need to expand the frequency rate of the thoughts and emotions that often seem to arise from inside this body. The difficult part is that, when we are not in a higher state of consciousness, we are not aware of the reality in which we are not limited to our third-dimensional earth vessels. In fact, we can often forget that we are, indeed, wearing these bodies in the same manner that all the hidden life forms on Earth are wearing a vessel constructed of Gaia's elements and elementals. These myriad Earth vessels come in uncountable sizes and shapes from as small as a ladybug to as huge as the Rocky Mountains. The lost ones want us to believe that all these life forms are just things, so that they can find a way to make money from destroying that which is a beautiful member of Gaia's Earth vessel. As we move deeper and deeper into what we have hopefully called our ascension process, we are beginning to ponder the lives of the ascended masters, and all that they had to release, remember, and give to others, in order for them to release the physical world enough to allow their consciousness to flow into the unknown. This unknown is actually our vaguely remembered fifth dimensional self. Maybe we are having higher dimensional experiences within this now, or we may be experiencing some dark nights of the soul. Those dark nights are often called depression or anxiety in the 3D world. And, indeed, there is quite a lot of depression and anxiety in the third-dimensional frequency of reality. It was this depression, anxiety and fear that made us forget that we are, in fact, multidimensional beings who chose to take a 3D Earth vessel to assist Gaia with her planetary ascension. Fortunately, more and more of us are beginning to remember something that we once knew, but forgot when we took on our third-dimensional Earth vessels. Therefore, gradually, we the light beings who are currently disguising ourselves as humans, are awakening to our higher self. As we continue to awaken to our higher self, we are beginning to remember ourself who is wearing a fifth-dimensional light body and lives on a starship, or on distant, highly evolved worlds. We are also remembering that we came to briefly visit Earth so that we could report back to our starships and or home worlds what we discovered regarding how we, the galactics, can best assist with Gaia's planetary ascension. The reason why more and more of our human expressions have been able to remember ourselves has largely been because of the Arcturians and our galactic family, who have been communicating with us from their ships. Therefore, we would like to answer some of the questions that the third dimensionals living on Gaia have been asking. We wish to answer these questions to remind all of you wearing Earth vessels that your higher self is with us within this now and ready to assist us, as well as ready to assist you. All we need do is to ask. In fact, we will now share some common questions and answers that have been asked by the humans and answered by their own higher dimensional, galactic self. Human self question number 1. I have been seeing many unusual things from the corner of my eye. Can you assist me to better understand what is happening? Galactic self answer number 1. What is happening is that you are activating your fifth dimensional perceptions. There are 3 major phases which will assist you as you move through this activation. Phase 1 is to activate your fifth dimensional perceptions. Phase 2 is to integrate these fifth dimensional perceptions into the reality that you currently believe is real. Phase 3 is that you begin to insert these perceptions into your daily life and use them to assist you as you continue to expand your consciousness. Human self question number 2. Could the galactics, looking at the current energy fields on Earth, speak about how individual, probable realities become stronger or weaker? Galactic Self Answer Number 2. A possible reality becomes stronger as more and more members of humanity believe it. Humans will place their attention on what they believe is real, but will not place their attention on what they believe is not real. Hence, it is actually the collective attention that is placed on a concept that has the power to transmute that concept into a reality. What many humans do not know is that the reality that they choose to believe is real is the reality that they will primarily attend to. Then, as humanity attends to a given reality, they will bring it more and more into the third, fourth dimensional collective mind. It is the collective mind that has the power to transform a concept into a reality. Human Self Question Number 3. What is the relationship between individual reality creation and reality creation by the mass consciousness? Galactic Self Answer Number 3. Mass consciousness has a greater power of creating a reality. Individual creation of reality is something that is mostly third dimensional. This is because the higher dimensional realities exist more within the collective mind, whereas many humans on Earth live primarily via their individual mind. Of course, tradition plays a large role, as some cultures live in single family units, whereas other cultures live in a group environment. The cultures that live in group situations are more inclined to have collective consciousness, whereas cultures that live in individual, or small family units are more inclined towards individual consciousness. Human Question Number 4. What is light language? Galactic Self Answer Number 4. Light language is a manner in which a higher fourth or fifth dimensional message can be relayed from the intention of the consciousness of the sender of the message, and into the consciousness of the one who intends to receive the message. Human Question Number 5. What is an active intention and how does it relate to light language? Galactic Self Answer Number 5. First we will expand our meaning of the word intention. Then, we will begin by describing the manner in which an intention and light language are the same. Neither an intention or a light language message can be viewed by your physical perception. In fact, both an intention, as well as light language, can be only sensed via your higher fourth and fifth dimensional perceptions. Also, both your intentions, as well the intentions of the one, are primarily perceivable via your fifth dimensional perceptions. Also, neither an intention, nor light language, communicates via separate words. Both intention and light language project out their messages from the consciousness of the speaking one as a mental picture and or an emotional feeling. If the receiver of that message is comfortable with the feel of that invisible message, they will be drawn toward the source of the message. On the other hand, if they are uncomfortable with the feel of the invisible message, they will feel drawn away from the source of that message. The truth is that humanity speaks, and hears, light language 1,000 times a day, but they are not aware of that fact. Light language resonates to the frequency of fifth dimensional gamma waves. Therefore, unless the recipient is able to recognize, tune into, and accept the gamma waves that carry the message into their consciousness, they will not be able to accept, read, interpret or even be aware of the light language, or the gamma waves that delivered it. The Golden Ones await you at the threshold of the fifth dimension, ready to assist you by examining, viewing your multidimensional auras. We, the Galactics, are aware that everyone, as well as everything, in your transitional reality is in the process of transmuting into the next octave of reality. For that reason, your 3D human expressions of self have gone through many incarnations in the attempt to assist Gaia with her planetary transmutation from a third, fourth dimensional planet into a fifth dimensional, multidimensional planet. We say fifth dimensional, multidimensional planet because the fifth dimension is the threshold to multidimensional Earth. We are well aware that the majority of humanity is not aware that Gaia is a multidimensional planet. Many humans are also unaware that they are all multidimensional humans. Once a planet begins its process of transmutation into the fifth dimensional frequency of resonance, those who can expand their consciousness can more easily adapt to a fifth dimensional reality. On the other hand, those who cannot adapt to the higher dimensions of Gaia's potential self, will eventually leave ascending Earth and move to another planet that is still firmly grounded in the third dimensional, physical reality. What will occur is that fifth-dimensional wavelengths will begin to bask the planet in an ever-increasing fashion. These wavelengths are not like radio or other man-made wavelengths. These wavelengths are light wavelengths, which represent different frequencies of light that will begin to find their way into Gaia's huge planetary aura. Yes, Gaia has an aura just like all her living inhabitants have an aura. The reason for this planetary transition is that the third-dimensional frequency of reality is merging with the fourth-dimensional frequency of reality in preparation for becoming a fifth-dimensional frequency planet. Of course, because all life is innately multidimensional, there is a Gaia in all the higher frequencies of the fourth dimension and beyond. In fact, many of you are members of that fifth-dimensional Gaia, as well as her lower fourth-dimensional frequencies, as well as her third-dimensional frequency. Many of you who have had incarnations on Gaia during one of her different frequencies of civilization. The eras of higher frequency of reality were often called peak societies. On the other hand, the eras of the lower frequency of reality were too often ruled by war, famine, deceit and dissent amongst the people. It was only during peak societies that the above questions and answers were even considered. When Gaia was in a low frequency era, there was war, starvation, dissent among the people, as well as a very low rate of education or artistic expression. Everyone was busy with the challenge of survival, while the leaders lived in wealth and domination. On the other hand, when Gaia was in a peak society, Gaia could resonate to a higher frequency without the fear and destruction of war and poverty. The ecosystem was in alignment, pollution was at a minimum, and education, creativity and spirituality thrived. In these peak societies, humans enjoyed a higher state of consciousness because there was more peace and creativity. Also, during these peak societies more humans realized that if they harmed Gaia, they would also harm their reality, including their own physical bodies. As you can all see from reading the news, this is not the case in huge portions of Gaia within this now. However, the core frequencies of Gaia are beginning their process of transmutation, expanding into a higher frequency of resonance. Therefore, just as a person is somewhat debilitated when they are in a process of change, so is planet Gaia. The problem is that there is a faction of humanity that do not want Gaia to ascend back into her innate fifth-dimensional frequency. These people, often known as the Illuminati, came to Gaia during one of her peak societies and quickly turned it into a society in turmoil. They created this negative shift because they knew that they could not survive on a fifth-dimensional planet as the resonance would be too difficult for them to tolerate. Fortunately, the galactic beings who reside in the fifth dimension and beyond, have come to answer Gaia's call for assistance. The problem is that Gaia is a free will planet, which means that the residents of that planet have free will to choose the reality that they wish to experience. Fortunately, the percentage of residents with fourth and fifth dimensional resonance of their form, thoughts, and feelings, is growing. Therefore, Gaia may have a chance to transmute back into her true resonance of the fifth dimension and beyond. We galactics have decided that we cannot bear to watch Gaia suffer any longer. Therefore, we will be entering Gaia's planet more and more. We will need to be careful to not start a war, which would occur if the lost ones realized that we are there to assist Gaia and her inhabitants. For that reason, we will silently and carefully begin by working with the awakened and love-based humans to assist them to assist the many creatures, elements and elementals who have supported dear Gaia through her long dark night. This dark night is beginning to dawn into the fifth dimensional version of Gaia who has waited long enough within the womb of planet Earth. Yes, just as humanity's light body self lies laden within the core of your spinal column, Gaia's light body planet lies laden within the core of Gaia's planetary body. The power of one light body is greater than many third dimensionals who are lost within the power over others matrix. In fact, this power over matrix is beginning to close and will eventually be taken off of dear Gaia. When this occurs, the lost ones will no longer have a resonance on Earth that they can tolerate. Therefore, they will need to leave Gaia and find a lower frequency planet which can tolerate their low frequencies thoughts, emotions and actions. Then, just as Gaia had to grow through conflict and resolution, so will the next newly inhabited planet grow through conflict and resolution. When is the now for this shift? We the Galactics often hear you cry. We answer this question by saying, we, your galactic family, will assist you as you escort the lost ones onto their ships, and off of Gaia forever. Our beloved Filipino brothers and sisters, if it is time for you to be awakened in the new consciousness of being, it will happen on you naturally. There is no need to rush things on yourselves. Just open your eyes and heart to new ideas being presented here just for you. If it resonates with your heart, keep it. If not, throw it away. We love you so much. Your galactic family, the Acturians.